What's good? This is Alex from DopeBoyzMuzic, back with another sample breakdown. Today we are going to take a look at a sample called Sunset Ride from our latest pack, Night Rider sample pack. You know, the retro vibe is heavy on this one, so let's get straight to it. So what started this sample was the main key idea. I was browsing through sounds for this pack and this particular one sounded kind of cool for that slow R&B type of joint, you know? So the main idea goes something like this. That's E flat major 7/9 to F major, and then D minor 7 to E flat major. Has a nice top melody to it. After a couple of edits, this is what I got. So there's obviously some filters going on. And then we have this patch called Funky Piano from the OBX-A5. It's also from Arturia. I used a lot of Arturia in this sample pack that just layers the chords pretty much. You know, just to give it a little bit more power. And the next thing I wanted for this particular sample was the Synthwave 16th type of bass, because I wanted this specific type of movement in the sample, you know? Sounds very 80s like. And this patch is also from the OBX-A5 and it's called Classic Synthwave Bass, and it has that ARP to it already. So it plays 16th notes. And you can do a lot of cool stuff with it. Kind of a cool patch. Also what I added to this was a step filter. So as you can see, it runs through these 4 16th notes. And the first one is lower, so it's kind of like a filter that closes for the downbeat to emphasize the downbeats, you know? So everything together sounds like this. So the chords make it sound kind of soft and R&B, but at the same time it still has that moving vibe to it, you know, because of the synth bass and like all the sounds are so synthy. The next thing we have is this bell sound right here. So it plays a little top melody. And what's cool about this is, you know, the second chord is always very stretched out. So there's a lot of space for that sound to kind of pop in and add this melody fill to it, you know? Just to give it a little bit more character. These are the main sounds of the sample. Other than that, we have a whole bunch of interplays. One thing that we have is this vocal fill right here. What I did for this is I used a run from the Azure Dreams vocal library. So the original run was in D sharp minor and the sample is in G minor, so I had to transpose it 4 semitones. Also, I worked a lot with filters. I used this Camel Crusher here to, you know, chop off some of the highs, and also used this EQ to chop off some highs and basically all of the low end that I don't need. So we end up with this run right here. And for the repetition of the run, I changed the last note. What I also did is I duplicated this last step, and transposed it into different notes so that it plays a chord. So this is an F major, and this is a G minor. Then we have some layers in the pre-chorus. So first of all, we have this chord layer, like a pad that plays the same chords. It's from the Juno 6. And it's called 80s PWM pad. Has that epic sounds to it, you know. And for the chorus we have a sound that layers the melody. So when I go for layers like these, I make sure that the sounds I use for layers have a lot of high end to them. So as you can hear, and as you can see, it has a lot of that high end right here. And this is what makes the sound more direct. So the layer kind of fulfills its purpose very well. If you add layers that have a lot of highs to them, you can, you know, still cut some of the highs or EQ them or whatever, but you should work with something that has that in there initially so that you have control over how much you want to add. As you can hear, this sounds very mellow, but with this layer it sounds much more direct. So it's easier for the sound to cut through the mix even though you don't turn it up as much. And then we also have this melody right here. For this I used a Solina patch called Short and Stabby. So this plays parallel fourths. And we have a tape echo, you know, to give it that 80s vibe once again. And everything together sounds like this. Sounds kind of epic, you know. And lastly, we have this saxophone solo right here. And also, when the chorus comes back later with the sax, we have this delay automation right here. And this is pretty much the sample. Now, one thing I did for some of the compositions in this sample pack was I have a very old synthesizer drum kit on my computer. So there's a lot of 808, 909 type of sounds in there. And I programmed some drum tracks for a couple of samples in this sample pack. So I got this drum loop right here. And this is what everything sounds like together. Oh yeah. So this pack is full of ideas like that, you know, 80s synthesizer sounds, saxophone sounds, a lot of dope ideas. You know, you have all these synth drum loops that you could use for other types of joints as well. Yeah, lots of inspiring stuff, so I hope you check this pack out. So I hope you enjoyed this little sample breakdown. Once again, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you have. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.